Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Radio FreakJam.
And good evening, it's a Monday and it's Radio FreakJam Unsigned Sessions, and tonight I'm here with this motley crew. Who's got their YouTube on in the background?
That'll be me, hang on.
There's always one. Hello guys, how are we doing?
Hello, how are you?
Hello there. Hey.
So, we're here to talk about frequency, and we've got the lovely Rowena in the chat room. Everyone say hi to Ro.
Hello.
Hello, Rowena. Hello.
So, guys, to start with, you lot, plus Ian and Jules and Steffi, are the reason the Freak Jam's called the Freak Jam, which is what a lot of people don't know and have asked, because it came from frequency, right?
Yeah.
That would be very correct. When we have from this very band here, there you
look
go.
at that.
Yeah.
There you go. The album.
Fantastic, eh?
I've got a copy here that's still in the plastic wrap, and Paul's got about 500 still sat in his garage.
No, it's down to about 250 now, I think.
Is it? We should re-release it. We should re-release it. I was actually thinking about this. We'll talk about this.
I couldn't give them away, mate. You know what I mean?
In all fairness, we had about 2,000 of them, and we've got about what? How many you got, Hayden?
About 1,980. No. I think I've got about 15, 20. It's still wrapped up, pristine condition, on sale now, $39.95 because they're limited edition.
$39.95. I didn't realise we could get that for it these days.
Yeah,
I think I have 3 copies.
I've got about a box and a half up in the loft, something like that. So how many's in a box?
God knows.
No,
I can't remember now. Yeah.
25.
But it's you know, we are here today, dearly beloved. We are gathered here today because lockdown. We've kind of all got chatting, and then some drummer decided it was time to tie up a few loose ends.
Who's that then?
That'll be you then. So.
Yeah, there were some loose ends that needed tightening up. Yeah,
and we're about to do that, aren't we? You've been working hard in the studio, Hayden, getting some click tracks down and some drum tracks, and sending them over to little Ian, who sadly isn't with us tonight, although I think he is watching. And then they've been doing the rounds, and we've got some old but new frequency songs coming out.
What's the word when you get something? Oh, you upcycle. That's it. Upcycled music.
Upcycled music.
I like to call it new old stock.
You see, you put something out on Facebook earlier, talking about our debut album, Tim.
Yeah.
Obviously, the album you've just shown, Swim with the Big Fish. And Tony said that suggested that there will be a second one.
Well, I always thought there would be a second one because some of the music that we was writing after that we released this one was very strong. I mean, the tracks that we've been working on with Hayden, and I always felt that our second album would be the best one. So, yeah, this is our debut album, and I don't see any reason why we couldn't have a second album. And I mean, things are different now. Everyone's recording at home. You haven't got to book a studio. Everyone's sending tracks across the internet. You can do it in your own time. There's no pressure. We're not playing places in Camden to 5 people on a Wednesday night. I mean, why can't we have a second album?
I think that's a very fair comment.
Can I just come back on that? When you said playing in front of five people in Camden, you do realise that the 5 people were the support act that we were
playing. True though, very true.
Oh, they had a couple of mates with them, didn't they?
Yeah,
because we didn't.
well, roadies. Yeah.
Let's talk about recording at home, Hayden. I know something you and I have done for a while. You've had a setup for a while, now, haven't you? To be able to do this sort of stuff, and you've worked with Jules a lot on home recording and stuff like that. But I know for Tim and Paul, it's been a relatively new process, certainly to Paul. How have you found it, Paul?
A nightmare, personally. It's just kind of. I've said this before. To record in any situation, you need a certain amount of discipline. When it comes to playing music, I've got absolutely no discipline whatsoever. I just like playing live. I like going up there, like turning it up as live as I possibly can get away with, and just going for it. But the discipline involved in the recording, and you do get hard on yourself, and you do push yourself a little bit, and your expectations are a little bit higher and all this kind of stuff. But that one we recorded recently, just to do a basic palm muted rhythm section from start to finish, I was up to like 48 takes just for that one little bit, and that's the easiest bit of the whole thing. It's time consuming. I don't particularly enjoy it because you're sitting there on your own, and you don't have that thing when you've got the rest of the guys in the studio. You're not sort of bouncing ideas off each other. You're not, you're pretty much on your own. So it's like you can play something. If you're all together in the studio, you can play something. Say, how about do it this way? Or that sounds good. Try doing this. That doesn't happen. You're kind of on your own, and then you finish your performance, and then you send it to wherever, and you get a response. Whether they liked it or they didn't like it. Well, that's a comment on what you've done. It's not real input, is it? So it's not my favourite activity, to be honest.
And how about you, Tim? I mean,
think
you and I have talked a lot over this, and you've had a setup. You've done some songs with people like Kirk Farmer, sorry, and you've recorded at home for that. But obviously, you and I have had a lot of talks about production and signal levels and bits and pieces like that. Is it a positive thing for you, or is it something that you sort of don't really get into?
I've actually started to really enjoy it. When I recorded with Kirk maybe 2 or 3 years ago because he wanted to make what started out as an album. It ended up being an EP, and I was very much a novice. He told me what equipment to buy. I set it up to a point where I could get my guitars in the computer, and then I sent it off to him. And all the other little bells and whistles in my software, I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to. But with the lockdown, I tried to record a track with Hog, and I couldn't get it to work. And then you very kindly helped me with that and did some production on it. And then prior to the sessions that we did for Freak-1-C, you helped me learn a little bit more about the software. And it must be said, I've actually started to really enjoy it. I get what Paul says. I mean, you don't have that immediate camaraderie that you have when we recorded Swimming with the Big Fish or any other thing that you record in the studio together. And I think you can get too obsessive about takes, like Paul said, where you record something, you listen back, you do a drop in, you fade it in. It just takes all day. Whereas when we recorded Swimming with the Big Fish, it was just a question of getting it in, and then the producer took over and he did what he wanted to do. But I don't know. I've started to enjoy it. I've actually I'm recording another Rough Justice track, and I'm planning on mixing the whole thing from scratch because I've actually been enjoying the process.
Excellent. And Hayden, you've been doing it a little bit for a while now, but you've sort of taken a bit more control over your own recording recently, haven't you? So how have you found it all?
Yeah. I'm with Paul on the discipline side. It does take an awful lot of self-discipline to sit down and go, right, okay, I need to track this down. I need to figure out what I want to do. I want to play it, but without having. It's hard. It's harder. Not saying that our job's harder, but for myself and Dobby, it's like we haven't got anything to work against. So we're having to drop these tracks down with almost nothing behind. It's all done from head, which is actually quite tiring when you're trying. I mean, I spend the best part of 7 hours just tracking one number because I kept on just drifting past bits and going places I didn't want to go to, and yeah, if we'd have done it in the studio for all together, yes, it would have been a heck of a lot easier. But the bit afterwards, I'm having more fun now, controlling my sound and getting everything to sound like how I want it to, not leaving it up to someone else. Not saying that someone else could do it, always do a better job, but yeah, I think it's getting to the point now where we're having fun with the tracks.
It is a
It's
massive
just,
learning curve. I mean, it's
recording
something
part's
I've
difficult.
been doing for years, home recording and bits and pieces like that. I mean, even to the fact that when we sort of kicked to this, I was sending you guys really old demos, really bad demos of some of the songs that we were thinking about re-recording. And I listened back to that and then listened to what we can do now with the songs. And it's amazing difference that everyone can be involved and do it. So I get it. It is hard producing yourself. It is hard disciplining yourself to get the takes right and get it to a point. But even what I think might be right, someone else might not agree with, and that's why you kind of have to sort of find that cut-off point in your own head.
Well, what I find is when I record for people, I'll normally put far too much down, too many tracks, double, triple guitars, too many solos, too much stuff, and then send it to whoever's going to produce it, and it gives them options.
Yeah, and editing is a big thing in the digital world, so that allows you to take 3 or 4 different solos and go, oh, I like that bit, don't like that bit, but I like that bit from that solo, and then shove them together and you end up with a nice product. Let's have some music. Tim, I felt that if we were going to do this today, we had to start with Another Day, because we always start
Of course,
the gigs with Another Day. So I felt that we had to keep that sort of tradition going. So here we are. This is us lot, Freak-1-C, with Another Day.
Love and hate in myself and requiem. It's time to put the world to rights on my soul and what's alright. To remind me of another day to come. Productive asylum, working hard to run the show and finally have some fun, using all my free spare time to lose pretense and fit crime. day to come. Show the world to other men, leave a message for the sons. To remind me of another day to come. Teach the world of love and hate in the serpent requiem. To remind me of another day, remind me of another day to go.
There we go. It wouldn't have been right starting off any other way, Tim. We had to do that. So that was another day by Freak-1-C of the Swimming with the Big Fish album. So we recorded that album at Fortress and Punish Studios, which were both in the same place, but they just had different names for some reason. What's your memories of that, guys?
I think my main memory of it is being in the main. My main memory of that is being in the main room where Hayden had his drums set up, Paul was in there, and I think it's like the first few days that we were there and just starting the process.
Yeah, because we were in and out, weren't we? We didn't, sometimes all of us were there, sometimes some of us were there, and it was sort of swapping and changing because we were there for a week, was it? If I remember rightly, 5 days, working week.
I think it was 4 or 5 days, something like that.
Yeah. What's your memories, H?
And then when we went back...
I think we've got a massive delay with Hayden now. I'm going to see if we can sort that out. Him and his 130 odd gigabytes or whatever it is. Hayden, are you with us? Hayden? Oh. Hayden, talk to me. We can't hear you, sir. You've just disappeared. You were working fine. I'm going to try reconnecting to you once again.
How's that?
There we go. You're back.
Yeah.
Yay!
Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, me earpods ran out of battery, and I forgot to switch the mic over to the laptop. So yeah, blah blah blah. Call an IT guy. Oh wait, I am one.
So, what's your memories of recording the album?
Ooh, wow. Apart from getting through something like 48 cans of Guinness with Dobby in about 2 songs, yeah.
It was a bit of a debauched process, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I don't think debauched is about the right word. Funnily enough, I was just watching the video to Wish.
Why?
Wish? Why? Even?
Why?
Sorry. Yeah.
Why?
That's too many whiskies already. But there's a couple of really good. In fact, you should try and cue that. I'll put you on a spot now, Ian. You should try and cue that up and put it on.
I don't think I've actually got a hard copy of that.
Well, you need to sort your bit out and get it on.
I've got all the music in.
Yeah, but you need to.
I remastered
We've got another song
it.
playing. I'll have a look, see if I can sort it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that was
I put
little
it back
Carl.
up on YouTube about a year ago.
That's right.
Yeah,
little
that's-
Carl
that's the one
recorded
I was
all that, didn't
watching.
he?
Yeah.
Little Carl Wagner, and I've recently touched
Yeah.
base with him again, and I'm doing some artwork. He's coming around my house tomorrow, strangely enough.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
A blast from the past.
It is a blast from the past. He's into trains these days, not music so much.
He was always into trains.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have long conversations back in the the Fox and Pheasant, about strangely enough about all sorts of things. Lego and train sets being one of them. So yeah, I'm so rock and roll.
Rock and roll. It's got to be rock and roll. Lego's cool though.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course it is.
What's your memories, Paul?
I remember there was a lot of sitting around doing nothing. A lot. And it was like trying to trying to stay off the Jamaican woodbines long enough to actually put in a performance when it was quiet.
Yeah, it was that.
I remember as well, 'cause I was playing. I had that bloody Epiphone Explorer thing that weighed about half a ton. I remember standing there. It was just so heavy. My shoulders, my back was bloody killing me. I remember that.
Right. You were playing that massive thing, weren't you? That's right. The big black angular thing.
I can't remember. I mean, it wasn't a very good guitar. It didn't sound particularly nice. But I can't remember whether it was before or after we put the EMG pickups in it. I can't remember if it was before or after. But all that did was make
it was
a
after because I remember putting those pickups in for you, and that was after. It was afterwards.
Yeah, it would be. It just made a crap sounding guitar, an even louder crap sounding guitar.
H, can you put some headphones on or click echo cancellation on the Memo page there? Because we're getting a bit of a delay back from you. You found it?
Right.
Nope, still getting it.
Hang on.
It's definitely you because I muted you and it stopped. Hello.
Right. Try that.
That's better. Hey.
Yay!
There we go. No echo anymore.
Yeah. I don't know how long these are going to last. So yeah.
So Paul, if you could choose one song off the album, what would it be?
Oh, I like Machine. Probably because it's the only one I got a credit on.
You entered the band. You entered the band quite late, didn't you? And obviously, a lot of these songs were legacy songs back from before, even when Hayden and Tim joined.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's interesting doing the recording of the songs that we're doing now, because they were fundamentally us. The last incarnation of the band. These were all the songs that we all did. We all came up with the studio together, as opposed to playing stuff that other people had done in previous incarnations of the band.
Yeah.
So that Machine was one of the few that was on the album that was actually quite. Actually, we all came up with as a band in the last incarnation of the band. And that's what I liked about that.
Well, let's have a listen to that, and then we can talk a bit more about that, because I think the direction we were going with Machine and Curse of Common Man and Why is definitely the direction the second album would have been a lot more of. So let's have a listen to Machine. This is the album version, not the remix. So here it is, Machine.
Love yourself. going out in style. Pick yourself up, dust off, love yourself. Hold your head high, wear a smile, love yourself. Pick yourself up, dust off, love yourself. Hold your head high, wear a smile, love yourself. Pick yourself up, dust off, love yourself. Hold your head high, wear a smile, love yourself. Pick yourself up, dust off, love yourself. Hold your head high, wear a smile, love yourself. Whoa, watch me go where you down. Whoa, watch me go where you down.
So that was Machine there. The one thing I remember about that track is when we were recording it, the guy who produced or who was recording it with us, what's his name? Hang about, I'll find it.
Jeff.
No, it wasn't Jeff. Gareth. A guy called Gareth, who was engineering for us, suggested we made a few changes. And it was particularly on your
Gareth
solos.
Spartan.
Yeah, it was particularly on your solos, Tim, and how we recorded them and played them. And we kind of got that 3-part solo coming out. And I remember sort of taking that back down the jam night the week afterwards and trying to replicate that live. And how it was quite an interesting process.
And I think it was he was
Isn't
the
that
one who
when you learn
suggested
how
I
to
use the
tap
wah
dance,
wah. That was correct, yeah.
Go on,
But
you
he was
said
the
that-
one who
wah-wah.
suggested to use the yeah, he was the one who suggested to use the wah wah because there just happened to be one in the studio, and I played that middle solo with the wah, and I hadn't thought of doing that previously, and it really worked on that track.
So yeah, just again talking about that sort of producer input when you're in a studio in that environment, and just that little thing kind of made that whole difference to that track, which is cool. So Tim, what would your track off the album be if you were to choose one track off the album tonight? What would it be and why?
I would probably say "Curse a Common Man." I think that's probably the strongest rock track that we have on the whole album. I mean, a lot of the songs are strong tracks, but that one just has a catchy riff to it. It's got our famous stops in it, and and he's talking about memories of the recording studio. I remember at where it stops before the drums come back in. The producer I couldn't get it to feed back, so the producer got me to hold my Red Music Man right up to the monitor speaker that was like right almost at the ceiling to get that wee sound going. and I remember doing that, and every time I hear that track, that's the thing I remember more than anything.
The thing I remember on that is with Hayden basically telling everyone that he was going to ignore the click and not work to a solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and then come back in. And it comes back in on a really odd time, if I remember rightly.
What's the whole point? It's all about organic timing, right?
I totally agree with you. It's just one of those little memories where, you know, live we were doing it to a sort of a point where we knew it, and then when we recorded it we tried to replicate that against the sort of whole click of the track and everything.
The thing is,
It's bad enough that you made me record that to a click.
You recorded everything to a click except for Find a Way.
Yeah, funny that. The one song that didn't need a click.
The thing
Go
is,
on, Paul.
You don't have to be a good musician to play with Hayden. You just need to be a good guesser.
I like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
Look, we were all too wrecked to be on our toes, man.
Yes, well, do you know what? I'll go back to this. Watch the video to Y again, and there's a beautiful cut where it pans across into the control room where Dobby's just really zoning in, getting his licks down, and you're singing just into the chorus, and your hands are rather busy doing something else.
I don't know what you mean. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I was probably rolling a cigarette.
No, I think he
No,
was
that's what it
signing
must
some
have been.
albums.
Yeah.
Just, you know, very wholesome.
Oh, like that, like that.
Signing the album.
That's how you
before
sign
Yeah, that
it
was
even
it, yeah.
recorded.
preemptive signing of the albums.
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah, and then he'd roll up the inlay sleeve. You know, he'd roll the inlay sleeve up like that, and yeah, get it all ready. It was nice.
Multitasking, you see.
I was young. I didn't know what was going on.
We were all young.
To this day, I'm still impressed with the sound I managed to get out of that little Yamaha acoustic guitar. That was a lot of guitar.
Yeah, but that's a really nice sounding guitar though. That one.
Yeah, it's still alive. So I think Ryan's got it up in Scarborough at the moment.
You played
I'll
that a
pop
hell
down
of a
and
lot.
see him then.
Yeah, I got a lot of use out of that thing. So
All the duos be done and everything were on that, weren't they? So
yeah,
got played a lot. All right, well, let's have a listen to Curse a Common Man then. And then, Hayden, you need to be thinking of a track as well.
Yeah, because you've taken two of my favourites, so yeah, I'll have to think of another one.
I didn't take them, it was the other two. It was those people. I can never get it right, but him there.
Them two. Them two.
Them two, that's right.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Here it is, Curse a Common Man.
Everything I fix, another seems to break. For every wound that heals, another seems to ache. For every righteous man, a shout out telling fate. We don't need this. For every hour of our lives that slip away, we want to live, or have I got that the right way? 'Cause all we seem to find is time to pay and pay. We don't need this. We got the curse of common man. Wake up when nothing comes for free. We got the curse of common man. Time we are too tired to just sleep. For all the stress and all the tears we have to weep. For all our leaders and the secrets that they keep. We don't need this. We got the curse of common man. Wake up when nothing comes for free. We got the curse of common man. The curse of common man.
Curse a Common Man.
Fabulous.
And it kind of still stands up today as well, which is nice. It hasn't really dated very much.
It's a sad thing that it hasn't, but it's still a good track.
So, I mean, I remember writing that. I wrote that and recorded that on a G3 tower, Mac Tower, little beige one. Do you remember, mate?
Oh God. Yes, I remember them.
In a really
Apple-
old version of Cubase.
In
well, at
fact,
least
can
you're
I tell you a
using Cubase.
story about your G3 beige tower?
Is this the story of why you joined the band?
Yeah, so I had been involved with the jam night. I don't know if I was actually the guitar player at the jam. I can't remember the timeline. But anyway, you had this idea of putting this band together called Freak-1-C. And I thought, yeah, I'll play some original music. That'd be cool. So you invited me over your place and you had your beige G3 Mac Tower. And then you played me some music. And I thought, this is good. These demos are good. It's got some potential. You know, that kind of stuff. And then you showed me some of your design work. And then you pulled up the Freak-1-C logo, this bit, on a G string, and I thought, yeah, this is the band for me.
I was trying to cater to our audiences, you know. That was one of those online, one of the very first online sort of print clothing companies where you could submit all your logos to all these different places, and I just found one. And they had G strings, so I thought a band logo and a G string, it was a good thing. I don't know if we ever sold any, to be honest.
I think if we reissue the album, we should maybe reissue it on vinyl. Of course, it's very trendy. Another CD, and then maybe we should have like a box set with the G string in it.
Oh, totally. We should do boxes as well.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's something for everyone.
Yeah. G-string boxer, wife beater vest. You know, let's do the full range. Cater for
Hanky for the head.
Oh, fantastic.
For us northerners, yep.
I'm not sure I'm liking where this is going, to be honest, guys. Just saying. So, H, was it my G string that made you join the band?
No. No. Do we talk about this? No. Do you know what? You know what? The center of the musical universe, that is the person that we all know and love, Mr. Mark Chudley.
The pretend pop star himself.
The pretend pop star himself, yes. That persuaded you that first night I turned up at the Fox and Pheasant, and persuaded you to make sure that I got up with Dobby and Adrian.
That's right.
And that was the infamous night that I love Dobby to bits. He's my bread bin, all right. But man, them first 4 bars of that first song that we played, and he turned his back on me. He turned around. And then 4 bars later, turned around with a big smile on his face. So I felt kind of okay after that. But yeah, there was a quick story. So you probably, I don't know if anyone actually knows this, but when I got up that night, and obviously I'd known Adrian for a long time, and we'd been doing jams for donkeys before that, and we got up. Sit down, and Adrian shouts back. He's like, hey guys, what should we do? And I shout out, hey, let's play Cat Patrol. And Dobby turns around and says, how do you fucking know Cat Patrol? And I'm like, ooh, okay, like that is it? All right, yeah. And then and our relationship flourished ever since.
Cat Patrol. I remember Adrian playing
Patrol,
it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Him doing it in the
Great
jam.
song.
I wonder if he's got a recording of that we
great
could
song.
play. That would be awesome to find. Yeah, I do
You know
remember
what
that.
he has? I know he's got it somewhere. So yeah, and another little story, which will lead me on to the track that I'd like you to cue up.
Okay, cool.
There was a night, there was a Thursday night that Dobbs couldn't make it, so we had Nick the bass.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Part. Nick, the consummate professional, done his homework, and just before we got all set up and everything, now we were sat outside the fire escape doors like we usually did, And we were having a chat, and he said to me, I've got these songs sus. He said, but I'm having trouble with one song. There's one bit, and he does this like slap bass thing, and I can't figure out how to get that sound. It's really weird. And I said, you left or right-handed? He went right-handed. I went, oh, there's your problem. He went, what? I said, yeah, he's left-handed and plays upside down. And his words were fucking. And I won't say the other word.
Fair play.
Yeah, bad enough. But yeah, Pseudo Street Smoke.
Pseudo Street Smoke. Okay, yeah. You see, this track was written with the very original lineup of the band, and when we done it with this lineup, it kind of got inverted. Whereas Little Ian started playing what used to be the guitar part, and the guitars took on more of the role of the bass part. So it kind of swapped around, do you know what I mean? So Ian sort of took the riff more than the guitars did. So interesting choice of... I haven't listened to this in ages, actually. This will be cool. So, all right.
Revise, so yeah.
Okay, this is Pseudo Street Smoke by Freak-1-C. I'm looking forward to it. Pseudo Street Smoke there, and shout out to Jim Taylor and Dave Bolland especially, who were a part of the original lineup of the band, and still sort of knocking around on the scene somewhere. In fact, doesn't your son work for Jim now, Paul?
Yeah, he does. Up in Scarbados.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, he works in Jim's pub. Obviously, Ryan's got his own band called the Fuzz Junkies, who I've been trying to get him to send some tracks down to play in your show because it's a very, very good band.
Yeah, get them to send them to me, man. I'll happily put them on.
Yeah, Jim plays with them occasionally. They do jam nights and they do. Well, obviously, lockdown has killed it all off, but they do a lot in and around Scarborough, and so he's still working quite a lot with Jim.
Awesome. So it's nice to see that sort of the family's still there somewhere. And obviously Jim's joined us at festivals, and so's Dave in the past and bits and pieces like that as well. So, right, what I want to do now is obviously Freak-1-C. We came to an end. Lots of different reasons and things going on, and we all sort of moved on and done different things. Paul and I stayed. We carried on doing the jam. We carried on with From the Ashes. Hayden, you went on to Funky Dory, which then became Northside with Jules, who was also another ex-member of Freak-1-C at that point in time with Ian. And Tim, you moved to America, man. You buggered off and left us all. And you've been working with people like Kirk Farmer and stuff out there, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been playing in a covers band ever since I got here in 2011, which has just come to an end. And I've just started playing with another covers band, just to get out there and play because I like to play. But my friend Kirk Farmer, I said we cut a EP together, and he lives in Raleigh, which is about 4 hours from here. So I don't get to play as many gigs as him as I used to because he used to live locally. But I get to play with him once in a while, and it's some good original music that I get to play with him, and it's really enjoyable. And I'm trying to get him to come on this show, but I've struggled to get hold of him. I don't know what he's up to at the moment, but I'm trying to get him to do it.
Kirk, if you're listening, get in contact with Tim or me, and let's get you on the show and have a chat and some playing and stuff like that. It'd be fun. What I want to do you mind running a bit later, guys? You in a rush to get off anywhere?
No.
No. Good.
It's 10 to 5 in the afternoon. I've got nothing better to do.
I'm in no rush.
I've just finished the Jim Beam Honey, man. I might have to move on to the rum.
Dude, you've got that long. Okay, you've got
cool.
You've got that long.
Wicked. I'm good with that. Because what I want to do is, as well as sort of play maybe another Freak-1-C number, I want to sort of play some of the stuff that we've all moved on and done, and sort of showcase the other sides of what we do. So I want to play a Kirk Farmer number to start with. I do believe The Bitter Unknown is one of your favourites, Tim.
Yeah, I like the guitar break. I don't know, I played it, but I mean, I like the guitar break in it. The way it's layered, and I think it worked really well.
All right, well, let's have a bit of Kirk Farmer.
But
then we'll have a bit of Northside, and then I'll probably play out on one of mine, but we'll try and get a Freak-1-C one in there as well. So if anyone's got a particular number they want to hear, let me know. We got a load of guys in the chat. We got Nicholas Sayman, we got Steve Jones, we got Oggy, we got Josh. We've got Tim. Oh, you're here with us as well. Tim, we've got Linda Myers. Linda Myers, is she a friend of yours, Tim?
No, I don't
Linda
know.
Myers is my sister.
Is that your sister?
Yes, that's my sister.
Awesome. Well, she's listening from Iowa because it's too bloody hot out there, apparently.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Your sister's listening as well. It's great. It's lovely. All this American connection.
Yeah, I actually sent a request as well. So,
what, to the group?
No, to me personally. But I think I have the song that you need to play out on. So.
Okay. All right. Wicked. Okay. Well, we'll play some Kirk Farmer. We'll have a Northside track, and we'll have an 8-month Malfunction track, and then we'll play out on some Freak-1-C. Then wicked. We'll do it that way. I'm good.
There we go.
Cool. Right, here's a bit of Kirk Farmer and very own Tim with The Bitter Unknown.
softly and true. 'Cause I know in my heart, this from the start, I won't come home to you. Everyone's crying, everyone's blue. Everything's feeling like nothing is true. Will you come see me and tell me you needed me away? 'Cause I know in my heart, this from the start, we'll be back here again. We are here, standing alone, staring in fear with the bitter unknown. And if you can't hear me, baby, come home. Oh, don't leave me there all alone, 'cause I can't survive on my own. Talk like the devil, sing like a storm. Make it your lullaby down the door. If it's my love you need, tell me and tell me again. 'Cause I know in my heart, this is from the start, we will be back here again. We are here, standing alone,
And there we go. Bit of Unknown there by Kirk Farmer with our own Tim O'Sullivan. Paul, you with us?
I think so.
Yep, got you. That's cool.
Ish. Internet's
Ish.
rubbish.
I do believe, Tim, you're going to join us on Thursday, and we're going to talk about a bit of Kirk Farmer stuff, and we've got a couple of live Kirk Farmer videos to show as well.
Yeah, we did. I went to Raleigh, where he lives, about a year ago, and he pro shot the whole thing with a 3-camera setup to promote his band and promote his original music and stuff. So I have all the files from that, and he asked me to join him to do that because he wanted me to be on that recording, and they've come out really well. I was really pleased how they've come out. So we can show the videos on Thursday and talk about the band and stuff like that. It'd be cool.
Look forward to that. Yeah, I've got them lined up already, mate. So we've got Fly Away and Hey Hey.
Yeah, I think that's probably the ones.
Yeah, is that good? Good choice. Wicked. I'm going to try and reconnect to you.
Yeah,
We
there
seem to
you
have
go.
got a bit of a delay. How's that? You back?
Am I back? Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, there we go. So Hayden, so you went on
Yes.
with little Ian, who hopefully is watching in the chat and stuff and on the YouTube, and joined up with Jules, who was the guitarist before Paul joined us with Freak-1-C, and Funky Dory was born with Lorna. Tell us a quick bit about that, and then we'll sort of have one of your tracks.
Well, I wasn't the original drummer for Funky Dory, funnily enough.
Okay.
It was someone, I think, Tim, you know, remember Awesome Tony?
I do remember Awesome Tony. Everything's awesome with Awesome Tony. Tony Chick.
Yeah, so it was him, Fox on bass, and Jules, French Mark, and Lorna, and it was, you know, I'm just going to come out and say it. I have a habit of walking into places and unintentionally taking people's jobs. So that's what.
That happened in this band as well, but carry on.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind, but I didn't even know this was happening. I just get a phone call out of the blue saying, you know what? Yeah, I did a couple of tracks with you at the jam night, and you know we're putting this band together, and yeah, we'd like you to get involved. So I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. So yeah, we did, and then we did a few gigs with Fox on bass, and there was one gig, I think it was the Pump House Theatre in Watford, that Fox couldn't make it. So he said, look, we got to I need to dep it out. I said, okay, fine. Have you got someone in mind? And he said, well, the only person I'd feel comfortable with, you know, doing that would be Dobby. And knowing full well, I knew what was going to happen straight away, because the minute Dobby came in with us, I mean, this is bearing in mind, he'd listened to the material like a few times. Basically, just Captain Blagged the hell out of the gig. It was awesome, and he just fit. Everything just fit. Everything just worked. In fact, the opening track on the first album, Still, was something that he'd actually come up with on the fly at the sound check at the first gig. That's how well he just fit. And then we had to have that awkward conversation after the show. It was a case of, well, what do we do about Fox? And we had to basically give him a KFC. Which Tim knows about.
Without wanting to massage your ego too much, Hayden, you know, Jules, God rest his soul, turned around to me one day and said, if Hayden had been in the band when I was, I wouldn't have left. There you go.
yeah.
You know, just a nice little bit of props there for you. That's a true story. He turned around and said that because I mean, you know, no disrespect to our previous drummer Tony, but you know, you brought something new to the table, and Jules recognised that. We all recognised that. You know, you didn't even go for a sleep in your car halfway through a jam night. You know, it was awesome.
I remember that.
Oh,
I remember Tony Burt
that
napping.
night. Oh my god!
Yeah. I'd forgotten about the fact he used to go out for a nap in the middle of the jam.
I remember the awkward bit at the end of the night. At the end of that night, Tim, I think you were doing the Ian was doing his usual, you know, just, you know, handing out the cash, and it gets round to Tony, and Tim, you said to Ian, yeah, I think you should give that to Hayden because, you know, he did all the work tonight, and the look on Tony's face was interesting. Let's say
He got a drink down the plough,
but it was fun.
Is that a West Drayton KFC?
Yeah, similar. It was actually South Harrow, but you know, lovely little public plough. But there we go. Right, so Northside was born out of Funky Dory.
Oh, Constellation.
No. It was not South Harrow. It was Northolt, the one before South Harrow. Little thatch place, beautiful little pub. Paul and I used to play there as a duo and stuff.
The Oyster House.
Oh,
yes.
The plough.
Wow.
Near Mandeville Road, in Northolt. So Northside. Not back on subject, just because we can. Northside was born out of Funky Dory, and you guys have recorded loads of albums. You've got Lorna on vocals. She's got a tremendous voice. Obviously, we lost Jules.
She kills
recently, and Marcus has now stepped up and taken the guitar. It's yourself, it's Lillian or Dobby or Lillian. One of his many nicknames from the Frequency days. So this is a bit of Northside. Let's have a listen to this. A bit more funky.
You want me to say, well, I'll be everything you want me to be, but you can never really see me. And I'll take a bit of your time, and I'll give you some of mine, and for a little while I'll be all yours. I can't give you all of me, 'cause you know the way it's got to be. So don't be giving love to me. You know I take nothing. You know I can't take this, can't take nothing from you. You know I take nothing. You know I
Yeah, man, funky. Yeah. Lorna's vocals are awesome on that, really, really are. Shout out to Lorna and Marcus and little Ian again as well. So hope you guys are well and keeping safe during these mad, mad times. They are mad times, aren't they? Really.
They are very mad.
So, from a personal point of view, I kind of, with Frequency, it all sort of was a bit dark around those times. Not only did I lose the band, I lost my flat, I lost my missus. It was all a bit wrong, you know, and I remember fucking off to Cornwall, or Devon. I rented a little cottage and I took about 4 or 5 days out, and I took my acoustic guitar out with me and my laptop, and I just sat and recorded some songs, and you know, sort of watched the people surfing on the beach by the day, and got drunk and wrote songs by the evening, and a cathartic little process that it was. And went on to do 8 Month Malfunction, which was produced by Joe Webb, who produced Nady's album, as we know. Nady's been on the show and was a very good friend of all of ours. He plays with what's his name? The guy from Status Quo's son. What's his name, guys?
Rick Parfitt Jr.
Rick Parfitt Jr. Yeah, he plays with Rick Parfitt Jr. now, and DLO as well, Joe. So he's done really well for himself. He's got out there and he's doing a lot of gigs like that. So yeah, I went and done my function, and that kind of, we got a little publishing deal, and it was all cool, and it paid for my food for a few months, more than anything else was. And I kind of continued that, and Tony joined us, and Tony got involved with Frequency towards the end as well. She was helping us manage the process and get us gigs. In fact, she got us the famous gig in Camden, where we played to 5 people, and Tim played through the tiniest amp he could possibly find. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Yeah, because we all went on the train.
The underground friendly amplifier.
Yeah.
That was it. It was a little Vox Brian May amplifier I had, which is about so big.
Yeah.
And everyone was going on the train. I didn't want to haul a massive Marshall amp up there, so I thought, well, that'd be all right. No one's going to be listening anyway, so I'll just take this tiny little thing.
And how right you were.
What was the place with...
Joking aside, though, that amp sounded pretty killer.
Go on, Paul.
It didn't actually sound too bad.
I can't remember, was it Soho or someplace? We turned up one night, we were supposed to be doing a gig, and we went there, got into the venue, and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited, and nothing was happening. We all got bored and went home.
Yeah, we done that. There was another gig we turned up to where the stage area was like a tiny, it was like an L shape into the bar, and you played in this tiny little corner where no one could see you, and we could barely fit the whole band. And it was so small, and it was just no one was watching because you were round the corner, blocked off by a wall, playing to the bar staff, and we walked out of that one as well.
Yeah, well, the thing was,
I remember the one that Paul.
Yeah, the last tube home was like midnight, and it was like 11:30, and we still hadn't gone on to play yet. So no, stuff this, I'm going home.
Yeah, I remember the one that Paul's talking about because it was somewhere in Soho, and it was like someone's house. The room was like the size of your front room. I remember that.
Yeah.
It might be the same one that I'm thinking about as well. And then there was the infamous gig at the Pop Bar in Soho as well. Do you remember that? Where they were charging £950 for a bottle of Jack Daniels.
That was the one.
But actually, it was 900 quid.
900 quid.
I parked the. I can't remember if it was the car or the van, but I parked outside. And I literally just parked, just to run in quickly to see what the. It was literally, I don't know, about a minute. Well, I just ran in to check out where the door was and all this kind of stuff. Went back to the car, and the police tow truck was all there with a crane hanging over my car already. So it was like 50 quid before it even started.
Oh, Jesus. Of course, back then it was very rare to get paid for doing original gigs. We were sort of slogging our asses off, running home from work, getting up to London for stupid o'clock, and then sound checking at about 6 o'clock, and then sitting on our asses for 5 hours wondering what to do because we were playing the 11 o'clock headline slot, and then by the time we got on, everyone else had fucked off home. and we were playing to a lot of empty rooms. It became quite depressing, that circuit.
It was always a fight for the
Yeah,
support slot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And the whole pay-to-play thing
Yeah.
we all got embroiled with as well, where you had to sort of bring 50
that was-
people before you got paid and all that sort of stuff.
No, I can't be doing with
Yeah,
that.
trying to split £14 5 ways doesn't work, does it?
If we were lucky.
As much as that.
Don't get me wrong, we had some really good gigs where we did pull some really good audiences, but the circuit in general was a very difficult place to sort of manoeuvre through. It really was the toilet circuit. We were playing everywhere from West 1, weren't we? And what was it?
West 1-4. I
West
remember
1-4,
that.
yeah. John something. Can't remember. But all that sort of circuit around London. And it was a tough slog, We would all leave work early, rush up there rush up there during rush hour to sound check and then sit around in a cafe for like 5 hours. It was madness.
It was a bit soul destroying, really. And the thing was, I mean, we're doing most of these things midweek,
Yeah.
playing, dubious venues for absolutely no money to very few people, and then. I mean, most of us at the time were involved in covers bands, so on the Saturday night we were out with our covers bands, playing at the packed houses, earning half decent money and having a good time. We kind of.
Well, there was. I remember the times, Paul, when you and we'd sort of go and do an original gig maybe on a Monday or Tuesday night. We'd have the jam on the Thursday. We'd do a duo on a Friday. We'd have a band gig on the Saturday, a duo Sunday lunchtime, and then maybe a day off Monday before getting back to the whole routine again. We were out 5-6 nights a week.
with a day job as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that now.
Oh, mate, it would kill me.
Let me tell you, I played a gig on Friday and I played a gig on Saturday in crushing heat, 4-hour gigs outdoors, and I woke up Sunday morning and I felt like someone had beaten me up. I mean, I don't know how I used to do that back then.
Just you telling me that
So it's
you
just
played
like
2
Santa Pod,
gigs, it makes me feel like I've been beaten up, Tim, because we can't play fucking gigs, man.
No, I know. We're lucky that in Virginia it's like phase 3 something or other, and we can now have outdoor music.
We're on our way, mate.
Yeah, it's
Just stick the amp and the guitar on the plane. Let's go. Let's just play.
yeah. Let's go to America.
Well, assuming
I mean,
you can travel here, you're welcome to come.
Probably won't be allowed.
no. I mean, you mentioned Santa Pod there, Hayden. Let's talk quickly about that, because that's been a big part of all of our lives. You know, we were talking the other night, Paul, on the quiz, about how, you know, your children have seen it, my children have seen it, now your children's children are going to see it. And it's something that's been a massive integral part of all of our lives during the frequency days and the jam nights and bits and pieces like that. And we've done everything down there, from acoustic gigs through to busking around tents to main stage, full support, you know, 3,000 to 5,000 people, with people like Bad Manners and the Dum Dums and Chaz and Dave. Who can forget Chaz and Dave? You know,
I remember that.
I think, you know, how do you think that's going to be for your granddaughter, Paul?
Well, assuming that it carries on, and assuming that you know there's still a slot for us, then no doubt then she'll toddle along at some stage, I'm sure.
Well, that would be awesome. Sort of like 3 generations of Santa Podders now. That's just quite cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
lots of
really.
memories of that. You know, Hayden beating your son up.
Split TV, that was a good one.
Tim's camper van exploits, which we won't go into because it's been discussed
my-
far too much
This
My
recently.
kids still talk about
This is a family show. We don't want to get into that.
or when you park your car next to my son's tent and missed his head by about 1.5 inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I do that?
Oh,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't
And
remember that.
Hayden, we've carried these on with From the Ashes, and Paul and I still sort of get out there when we can and do it. And you've joined us again recently for a couple, and you always make the effort to dress up and become a Mad Hatter or a Roman or whatever it is we're doing. How's that been returning to that scene for you? Because you can kind of used to a different scene with Northside.
No, you can't beat just the raw fun of just basically playing balls out rock covers in a great environment with a captive audience that just are having so much fun. What's not to like?
Do you know there's one moment for me through that whole gig, and it's the G medley, and it's Alice. Who the fuck is Alice? When you've got 3,000 people shouting that at you, there's just nothing quite as good as that moment. Do you know what I mean? It makes you feel alive.
But I was impressed that
Ian,
you managed to get 3,500 people pogoing. That was impressive.
Yeah.
Yep. Go on, Tim.
Ian, do you remember when we played one of those Santa Pod gigs and somebody threw a Fanta orange bottle at my head and it missed me by about that much? Do you remember that?
That was
It's
the
a 2
Chaz
litre
and
bottle.
Dave gig. And Chaz and Dave came on. They'd done their hours slot, and we'd left them time at the end to do an encore because, most people would when you got 5,000 people watching you. They refused, flatly refused to do an encore. So Pete, or Buddha as we called him, who was the stage manager, kicked my arse and went, well, you guys have got to go on and do another hour. Right, okay. What do we do? And I remember going on and I started singing The Day the Music Died, American Pie. And the bottles were flying. And as you guys were coming on and trying to get in tuned up and bits and pieces like that, the bottles were flying. Fanta bottles, piss bottles, they were all coming our way because everyone wanted Chaz and Dave, not Frequency. That's not what they'd come to see. Do you know what I mean? They'd seen us 2 hours beforehand. We'd done our bit. We'd finished. We'd all had a few more drinks since this time as well. And, yeah, that was tough, man. But we did it. We got to the first chorus of American Pie. You guys had tuned up and the band struck in. And suddenly, the audience was singing. And we'd done another hour and got to the end unscathed and unpiss-bottled.
I think my favourite one was the epic 5-hour gig we did with no set list, no nothing. That was the favourite part, I think.
Yeah, in the tent. I remember that.
Yeah, it was just a non-stop 5.5 hour impromptu gig. We had no set list, nothing. We just sort of
no safety net
all the way through from start to finish, and we had every so often we get a guest appearance from someone, so we could go for a pee or whatever.
Yeah, because we had you, me, and Steph singing. You and I were doing an acoustic duo. Steph was playing in Red Rocket with Little Ian, and the rest of the band kind of knew the songs anyway. So we'd split it up. We'd do some of me, we'd do some of you, we'd do some of Steph, and if Bertie wanted a piss, we'd do an acoustic number. And I remember that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think when we finished the 5-hour set, we hadn't even got into the frequency stuff yet. I remember when we came off stage, Paul saying to me, he said, we still have songs to do. We could do 10 frequency songs we haven't even touched yet.
You were going to say something, Kate? Go on.
Yeah, no, I think for me the highlight of the early Santa Pod, I think it was Santa Pod, is the Sandpit gig.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was 5 hours. That was just over 5 hours as well.
Probably, yeah. We did do a couple, didn't we? That was in that little marquee facing out to the food court, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember
think
that.
That was, if I'm not mistaken, Tim, that was when you introduced Santa Pod to the virtues of oh Christ, what's the Electric Six.
Gay bar.
Gay bar.
Gay bar, yes. Yeah,
Remember
that's
that?
when we played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Someone
Yeah.
requested it,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah,
And you knew it, Tim. And
Yeah, and I think we just winged it.
Yeah, we sat in the campsite beforehand with acoustics, working it out to a point where we could go and do something, and then literally played it that night.
Yeah, I remember that. And I also remember, I mean, as I said, I left England in 2011, and I'm not exaggerating that I still had some sand in my gear when I left. Like, I had bags of cables that had sand residue in the bottom. I mean, that was like 5, 6, 7 years after the fact.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I was the same with my legendary blue Puma bag that I used to carry around. That eventually replaced it, but when I actually got rid of it and emptied all the stuff out, there was about half an inch of sand in the bottom of that. Came from that game.
Santa Pod, a lot of fun. Right, I'm going to play one of the 8-month malfunction tracks I've done. This is something I've done later. I never really put it out there. I was never happy with the mix, but I do like the song, and I don't play it that often. It's called That Song, and it kind of started from a chat down a jam night one night about, people not wanting to play the same old song over and over again. So I kind of took that and run with it. This is That Song. Then Hayden, you need to let me know what we want to play out with. You've got an idea, apparently.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes,
we'll
I
play
do.
this, and then we'll talk.
We'll never lie. It seems we're going round and round. The same mistakes, the same old ground. And time won't change. It's just replay, rewind, repeat. The same old steps to worn out beats. Don't make me sing that song again. Don't make me sing that song again. Time after time, the loop just seems unbreakable. A needle
that song by Malfunction. I can't even say it. It's my band. So shout out to Mr. Andy Bradley and Tony and Paul Miro for playing their parts on that as well. Mr. Andy Bradley, he was a big Frequency fan, more particularly a big Tim Caesar O'Sullivan Frequency fan, and he used to watch every gig, and he learned every riff and every lead lick. Did you realise that, Tim? When you went, if I basically had you lined up to play you.
Yeah, I was very flattered. I mean, I remember we was at the gig at the Blues Bar not long after the album came out, and you know we used to jam there, and we used to play some of our original songs in. And then Andy's like, "Oh yeah, I know how to play that one," and I was like, "Really?" And he plugs in, and he's learnt my solo completely note for note, and I was flattered and flabbergasted all at the same time. I was like, "Wow, someone would be that into it that they want to do that." It blew me away.
Yeah, he's a very talented man, Mr. Bradley. We spent some time with him at the weekend. Really, really nice to see sort of people face to face rather than on a screen. And he's been coming on the jam night, and he's with From the Ashes. And hopefully we can all get back out there soon. And because for those you don't know, Hayden is also the new drummer for From the Ashes since Rob has left us. Hayden's going to be travelling the length and breadth of the country with us. Well, more to get to us than anything.
And just for the record, no, I didn't take his job.
Yeah.
No, he resigned, and we invited you respectfully. Well, we invited you at least.
Just don't want to get a reputation for just dropping in on taking people's jobs. It's it's not good.
What you got to say about that, Paul? What's it like to have him back with us? Oh, he's disconnected. That bad, huh?
No, he's speechless.
Mr. Holland, can you hear me, sir? We can't hear him. Now let's try reconnecting.
Internet's going a bit mental at the minute, so
We got you. There you go. Yeah, what do you think about having Hayden back From the Ashes?
Yeah. It's always good to have him back around. I mean, we've had him depping for Replicant as well, and you can trust the guy to walk into the situation, and you're not going to have any issues. So it doesn't matter how long he's been away or anything like that. He's always on the money, so you can always trust him to do a good job for you. So, and we all have a good laugh as well. So
appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
agree with that.
That's the man himself. So.
See, we love you, H. You feeling
Thanks,
the
man.
love tonight?
Oh, I love you guys too. I'm so emotional.
In all fairness, man, to you, it's you that's kind of kicked all our asses to get back and do things like this. So thank you very much for that opportunity. And quite seriously, guys, it's absolutely fabulous to be back working with you guys on some music. It's a music which, I had a lot of faith in at the time, but we never got a chance to fulfill. And now hearing some of the demos that we've been working on, it's sounding nice, guys.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, when you when Hayden first sent over just the drums and the bass, you know what Hayden was saying about where you're building the track completely from scratch. Like, so you just have the drums and the bass, and you try to fill in the gaps to know what goes where. But even when I just put the first rhythm guide guitar track down just to give me an idea of where I wanted to go with the various parts, it's like, yeah, this is Frequency again. This sounds great.
And we've even got a new track that you and I, Tim, have been demoing up a little bit, which I think,
yes.
I sent it round. Again, it's a bit of a lockdown track, but what isn't at the moment. Sent it round to the guys and said, is this a Frequency song? And Tim didn't even answer. He just sent some guitars back. I took that as a yes. It is some guitars in. We could go with it.
Yeah, I even played bass on it, which is you need the virtuoso world of Lillian, as I know him, on the bass, not me plodding my way through pretend bass. But I needed some kind of something to hold it together. But even with my rudimentary bass playing on it, it did sound like a frequency track.
And my rudimentary drum programming as well. Let's be honest, it's rudimentary.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but I use a lot of stuff like Easy Drummer and stuff like that to get grooves and just to sort of put a few feels in to give a bit of feel of the track. But it doesn't beat the fact of having a real drummer come on and give their own interpretation. I'm limited, not just in my technology, but my understanding.
Well, we will resolve them issues this week.
There you go. Mr. Bradley's in the chat. He says, "Evening, gents. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for the kind words."
No, well deserved, Andy. Hello. I mean, I was flattered when you showed me those parts years ago, and all I will say is that your guitar playing is fabulous, and I wish I could sing like you.
Yeah, I mean, as a wonderful guitarist as he is, he's also a fantastic vocalist. So. I wish I could sing something other than a ropey version of Love Shack, but Andy's got that singing down. What I'd like to do is find a part for Andy or Bradley,
Adley,
whichever
that's
one.
what we're going to call him now.
Adley, yeah, that works.
Adley.
For Mr. Bradley, on one of the tracks, maybe you can come do some rhythm guitars for us, or have a bit of a dual lead with Tim or something somewhere, and we can add him into one of the tracks as kind of the extended seventh member.
Sure, we'll do that. There'll be room for that. It'd be great to jam with Andy again, even just virtually.
Well, a little birdie tells me that he's getting himself a little studio set up in his spare room now that the young birds have flown the coop. He's got a spare room, and he's going to be his man cave. So we're going to be talking audio boxes and software and bits and pieces soon, because he wants in on the game, and that's really, really cool. So hopefully you can.
Will you tell him to get one that doesn't have a 6-minute delay on it?
I'm going to find a Star Wars themed one to show him.
There you go. Yeah. R2 USB. There you go.
R2 USB. So, H, you sent me a message during the last track, and your sister has also put Thunder in the chat.
Yeah.
And I suppose I was, who am I kidding, really? That should be the one we should finish up with. I wasn't one I thought we'd go for, to be honest. But, so, this track has got a lot of meaning to me. I mean, I wrote this probably before I was in the band. It was something I sort of took to the band with me. And I've played this track with so many people in so many different ways. It's had violins on it, it's had saxophones, trumpets, all in different sort of jam scenarios. I remember standing in South Harrow and playing this to a tiny little venue to about, 50, 60 people, if that, and not having to sing because all the audience knew the words. And I remember going down the jam night one night, and our very good friend John Jagger turning up with a band that he put together and playing a cover of this track. And to me, as someone who it's a really nice moments in time when people are singing you your song back, or even better, of taking the time to go out and learn to play the song. Not that it's hard, because I wrote it, but taking that time to go out and learn the track and play it back to you. And I think the version we got on the album is probably one of the versions that is the best for me. Best recorded, best band behind it, best feel. We captured it in a way that really, really suited. And obviously what tops this off is we got Jules in as well to play a little bit of slide and a few Bernie tweets at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, what's your memories of this track, guys? That's mine.
Wow. Well, I have loads. For
Go
this
on, give us one.
Really. Well, going back to what you said, it's a very I'm not going to use the word commercial because that's horrible. It's a very easy listening,
Accessible.
but also easy to. It's easy to. You're one verse and the chorus in. You know the song. You're in, and you've already, you've captured everyone there. So, and the times that we've played it, you're right. It's having the audience feedback and singing along is just, that's epic. But for me, it's gonna be the Fortress recording.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is the definitive version.
I would say so.
Go on, Tim.
Go on, Tim.
I was going to say, it's the amount of times that we used to play at the jam night when we was at the Fox and Pheasant, and like you say, when you get people singing it back to you, it is the ultimate compliment. Because, and like Hayden said, it's like, even if you've never heard it before, it sounds familiar, and it's got the big core. It's simple, but it's such a great song.
And Paul, this has obviously got your Yamaha on it.
I go to say it's an anthem.
It probably is our anthem. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
No, it is an anthem. Probably. It is an anthem song. There's no probably about it.
Oh, what was that, Paul?
All over the place. I presume you're talking about Sound of Thunder, yeah?
Yeah. It's got your Yamaha on it as well.
It has indeed, yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? We used to play it a lot.
Yeah, well, it was. I was playing that song before I even joined the band, so because we were doing it at jam nights and stuff, and it's only 3 chords, which is great. That's fine for me.
That's all right.
Yeah. So
you got to pay him an extra tenner to do the 4th chord.
Yeah. Well, someone threw another one in there. Kind of. It took me about a month to learn it after that, but. Yeah. But I mean, it's a good song. It's kind of evocative of a time, really, isn't it? So, and very, very sort of spitting sawdust on the floor, and sitting with your feet up, sun going down, that kind of thing, that kind of feel to it, that kind of vibe, that kind of country vibe to it. It's probably. It's the least rocky on the album, but it's probably one of the strongest songs on there. So, and it's probably the first frequency song I ever heard. Really, it's one of the earliest, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, let's have a listen to this. Look, guys, thank you for joining me tonight on this slightly self-indulgent trip into our past. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you guys and listen to the music and. Just chew the cud. And thanks to everyone in the chat room for joining us as well. Again, sorry we're being self-indulgent, but once in a while doesn't hurt. We're allowed. It's all good. I've got to be careful with this one because this actually has the bonus track on the end of it because it was the last track on the album.
Ooh.
And then we had that little bit of Find a Way that we kind of revisit of Find a Way on the end. So I won't endure people of 6 minutes of silence, whatever it is, but. We'll play this. Stick around, guys. We'll have a chat at the end. But thanks for joining us tonight, and I'll see you next week. I've got Nick on next week, so that should be good. He's going to talk about his new album. We've got the quiz night on Saturdays. I do believe it's Andy and Sarah hosting the quiz night on Saturday. That's going to be interesting.
It's all Star Wars questions.
All Star Wars questions from Andy. That's right. And
I might join in on this one then.
Do it. Come and join us, man. It's really good fun. We get drunk and get questions and stuff like that. And we've got the jam on Thursday. If you haven't signed up, go to the website freakjam.co.uk. Go to Radio Freak Jam, join us, book a slot, and come and play us a couple of tunes. It's always a good laugh. until then, this is Sound of Thunder. Stick around, guys. We'll have a chat at the end, and we'll see the rest of you later. Bye. Say bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I've been smoking all my cigarettes, been getting drunk with my friend Jack, going through this one more time again. One step forward, two steps back. I wonder if we'll ever talk again. The sound of thunder drowns out all my cries of pain, yeah. While those jingle bells were ringing, you and I made sweet love. But then the closet door was open, 'cause I still fell from up above. Wonder if we'll ever love again. The sound of thunder tells me it's gonna rain again, yeah. Na 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 na. How could it be that the hand of peace could cause you so much pain, and your dreams are washed away by the devil's rain? Now another day has ended, given all I got to give, and I'm sorry that it's over, 'cause I got my own life to live. And I wonder if we'll ever love again.